Hi everyone, today I'll be speaking about step 3 to financial freedom, which is getting out of debt. And I'll explain a method to get out of debt called the snowball method. So let's go. What is the debt snowball method? The debt snowball method is a debt reduction strategy where you pay off debt from smallest to largest, gaining momentum as you pay off each debt. So when the smallest debt is paid in full, you take the money you're paying on that debt into the next smallest debt, and you keep repeating this until you've cleared all your debts. So how do you do the snowball? Step number 1 is to list your debts from smallest to largest, regardless of interest rate. Step number 2 is to make the payments on all your debts, all the minimum payments that are required. Step number 3 is to pay as much as possible on your smallest debt. What this means is that you have to pay extra money above the minimum payment on this debt until it is fully paid. Step number 4 will then be to repeat steps 1 to 3 until each debt is paid in full. Now, it might seem that paying off the debt with the highest interest rate makes the most sense mathematically. You would save more interest that way. I believe that it's important to pay your debts in a way that keeps you motivated until you finish them off. So getting those quick and tiny victories in the beginning will motivate you to pay off your remaining debts. If you want to, you can do the debt avalanche, which is paying the debts with the highest interest rate first. That's fine. When are you ready to start the snowball method? You are ready to start your snowball once you set up your emergency fund. I spoke about emergency funds in my previous video. So an emergency fund covers those life events that you cannot plan for. So think about a burst geyser. Think about dental emergencies. Think about a flat tire. You get the drift, right? An emergency fund protects you from going further into debt to pay for an unexpected expense. Now, getting out of debt will require living below your means, guys, and spending smart. I'm gonna give you some tips that can help you speed up the process. Tip 1, cut out unnecessary subscriptions. If you haven't, do it. Put that extra 800 Rand towards your debt each month and watch how quickly the debt reduction starts to snowball. Tip number 2, stop eating out and buying takeaways all the time. It is cheaper and healthier to eat food that is prepared at home. Tip number 3, plan your groceries, guys. Make a list and stick to it. Use the calculator on your phone while you shop to make sure that you're sticking to your budget. And don't ever go shopping on an empty stomach because you'll buy things that you do not need. Tip 4, avoid expensive hobbies. Challenge yourself to find free ways to stay entertained. So take your kids to the park, go for a walk, go for a hike, a free concert, or look for free events in your community. Tip 5, start a side hustle. Starting a side hustle has never been easier than what it is now. If you've got a talent for making stuff, make stuff and sell your products online. Do you have a good camera? You can start a photography business. Are you good at science? Good at maths? Become an online tutor. Do you know how to bake cakes? Bake cakes and sell them. Tip number 6, sell unused items on Facebook Marketplace. One person's trash is another person's treasure. So look through your kids' rooms. Look through your own wardrobe. Look through your garage. Find things that you can sell to make extra cash. And that extra cash is not for pizza. It goes into your debt snowball. Tip number 7, get a part-time job. If you don't want to sell, then consider a part-time job to make extra money. Tip number 8, stop using your credit card. This is why you need an emergency fund, so that you don't need to rely on debt. You'll never get out of debt if you keep falling back into debt. So stop credit cards and stop taking on more debt. Tip number 9, ignore your broke friends. So stop trying to compete or to fit in with your friends. Stop trying to keep up with the broke Joneses. Stop trying to live like everybody else. Remember, this is temporary. If you work hard, crush your debts, in a few years you won't have a financial worry, while everybody else will still have mountains of debts for car loans, personal loans, and credit cards. Tip number 10, stick to a budget. This is a no-brainer. I've spoken about budgets before. Track and trace where your money is going. Tip number 11, read, listen to, and watch personal finance content. This will encourage you when you feel like you are not making progress. So get inspiration to keep moving forward. That's why you have to subscribe to my channel. Tip number 12, learn to say no. No is a complete sentence. Make it part of your vocabulary. Embrace it, love it, because when it comes to spending, you'll be saying no quite often. And remember, it's temporary. You won't say no forever. It's just when we are in our debt snowball, trying to get rid of debt, we've got to say no sometimes. And it's okay. You don't need to feel guilty of saying no to your friends or even your children sometimes. That's it for today, guys. In my next video, I'm going to speak about investing. I know you've been dying. You're like, when is she going to start talking about investing? Don't miss out. Hit the subscribe button below, and I'll see you in the next video.